Alright, give you guys a little update what we got so far done today. So we got our top seam of the rear end brackets. Reading the rules, it says you could do that, so figured may as well. Figured out right here's where the firewall is considered to start, so we did the seam welding. We got the frame shortened exactly 18 inches from the front of pocket, which is basically the very back side of this hole. This hole right here is basically the very back side of it. My bumper isn't as tall as this here, so I have to put a bumper mounting pad. So we got that done. We got the factory upper part of the suspension taken off. We got the engine cross-member plates on. Got a 5/16 T1 or AR400. You get one 4-inch piece in the center, then two 8 inches long that contour the top of the cross member, and they have to be within the inner part of the frame horns, so they follow dead nuts on, and then it follows around the top lip of the pocket, but not onto it. None of the welds go onto the pocket. So not sure what they'll really think about that, but reading the rules, looks like it's in the clear. So yeah, so I'm gonna pull my Vic over, or my Lincoln over, and get the bumper cut off of it. And we got it set at ride height right now. So that's how I was able to know what level was. Cutting the front of the frame off. I've got a 80s sway bar in here, but I was just trying to see really how it would meet up. But we'll probably just end up with running the factory one and cutting the center out of it, just to hopefully help keep that lower from pushing back. Yeah. So we're ready for bumper and suspension. I just got to cut the WRP ball joint rings out of my Lincoln and the bumper off of it, and get my spindles off of it. So tomorrow we'll probably be mounting bumper, doing the front suspension, and hopefully setting a body on it. But I gotta figure out what is going on with the garage door, because I went to lift it up just to walk outside with the plasma stuff, and it decided to kind of break like 3 of the rollers at the top, so I gotta figure that out. But I'll give a little more in-depth on why I think this will work, and it could not. This is just what I think. So let me take you back to my dad's car, because this is where the idea all came from. So he has a ramp bumper. It's ungusseted. It only has 2, none in the centers. And this car, it does have hump plates on this car, but my Lincoln did too. And I believe the blunt edge bumpers put a huge strain exactly where everybody thinks it's going to bend, which is right before this body mount. And it could. I don't really know. I usually tuck the trunks on these cars because we've got it figured out. But anyways, so basically my thoughts is that this frame is C-channeled, and has a piece of small I-beam through it until this point, and then it, you know, has that little gap, and then it goes back boxed. But I think with, like, no one's front bumper is going to hit the top of this bumper. And if it does, it's going to be because they lost suspension from it. But to my belief, I believe that it will go under cars, but also when it does that, it will push all the pressure up, and the rails won't take the direct impact. But I don't know, it's Derby, so anything can really happen. This thing, I could make one hit with it and it fall apart. It's pretty unlikely, but it could happen. And then, so I think this will deter all the direct frame impact, and it'll be directed towards the body, which will also have, you know, a washer coming clear back in to here. Can't be welded, but it'll help a little bit. And then it'll have one on top on the body that also goes back to, as far as the body will go back. And 1-inch grade 8 bolts, or I might do it out of B7, because I went and bought like 8 of those bolts at Ace yesterday for the rear end, and it was $60. So probably just end up doing the all thread and welding the nut on one end. But then right here, so these rails they have tension on them when I welded the chain, and it's got a good bit of tension on it. The rear end does have 2 inches of travel from maybe a little bit more than 2 inches, but so it will help. If a car does end up on the back, it should help, and the suspension will give a little bit. And then when I do my all thread, it'll go right somewhere in here to help keep this S curve from bending. So hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, I'll just roll it up like everybody else does and call it a day. But hopefully it does work. And then the rear end chain, it's just under tension. It's not pulling the humps down. It's just keeping it there. So hopefully it'll just keep this top part of the hump down. Even if it does kick in, hopefully it'll try to keep it there. And then the front half, we get to pressure the gas tank protector into the speaker deck, which I believe will keep the front side of the hump straight. So it'll really just be right here, and no hump plate that's allowed at this show will even reach there. So, and then we'll have, I'm not sure exactly where down bars can go yet, but yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. It could work, could not, could stay put. I don't really know. Just trying new ideas. Everybody can build cookie cutter cars. But yeah, so I'm gonna go cut the front bumper off and try to get it cleaned up before I gotta take off. Let me know what you guys think. And have a good rest of your day.